Banana caramel cheesecake. Look at those pecans. Look at that sauce. It's not pretty, but it is delicious. So we're going to take some bananas we've slowly cooked down with vanilla and water and a lot of brown sugar. We're going to strain out that caramel sauce. Then we're going to put those bananas in a pan. Yeah, get it to sit still. That's enough, you naughty nanners. We're going to take our immersion blender and we're going to start grinding those up to make a nice smooth paste. Sometimes when you do this, you can add a little bit of liquid back to it to help with the emulsion process. As it blends the bananas, we want it to be nice and smooth. This is going to get mixed into our cheesecake for the majority of our banana flavor. It looks like it's about ready. Now, we didn't forget about that delicious caramel. We're going to set that aside for later use. And now we're on to the cheesecake portion. Normally, you want your cream cheese and eggs to sit out and be room temperature. If you didn't let them sit out and they're still cold, you can put them in a bin of warm water to expedite the warming process. This is my favorite way, my favorite corner to cut if I forgot to leave it out. So we'll put them in there for about 10-15 minutes. And while it's warming, we're going to make our crusts. Now, my graham cracker crust is real simple. It's a little bit of sugar, butter, and crushed graham crackers. And I'm going to shake them so, it kind of levels it out. And then I'll pat them down. I don't want a real thick crust, as this cheesecake is going to be so rich as it is. I want to try to minimize any other flavor that takes away from the banana and the beautiful caramel. It looks like my crust is ready about the same time as my cream cheese is nice and squishy. You can go ahead and just give it a pinch. If a pinch is real simple and it's really smooth, then it's ready to use. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in my mixing bowl. This is 3 pounds of cream cheese. So this batch I'm making is clearly for a restaurant. It's not something you make at home unless you have a really big family. So we're going to start with our cream cheese in the mixing bowl. Like I said, it's 3 pounds. We're going to dispose of the wrapper. And next we're going to add our sugar. Now for this cheesecake, we're going to add approximately 2 cups of sugar. Then we're going to go ahead and put it on low so the sugar can break down any cheesecake that's not creamy. Only takes a couple minutes, and then we'll be ready to add our next step, which is going to be sour cream. Now the sour cream is going to be equal parts sour cream to sugar. Our next ingredients are pure vanilla and lemon juice. Now the vanilla extract is 2 tablespoons, while the lemon juice is a little more, a little less, depending if it's fresh or if it is going to be pre-made. Now, as you can see, I'm cracking my eggs. The eggs for this recipe calls for 6 large. If you have medium, use 7 to 8, as they're not as big as the large ones are. We don't want any shells in there. Now, in an ideal world, you want your eggs at room temperature. That's why I had mine in the water. However, if they're still cold, the recipe will still work out just fine. Now, I have chosen to add a couple extra eggs because I'm going to be putting bananas in this cheesecake. It is not going to be as thick as I need it to be. The next step is to scrape down the bowl so we can add our banana. Now, you could have did the eggs at the same time. Honestly, I don't think it makes a difference. I chose to do the banana first so I could get a good idea as to if I was going to have enough eggs or not. Then we'll add our eggs and we'll blend it again. This only takes a couple minutes extra to whip everything together. When your batter's done, it should be silky and smooth and very shiny. It should have a very nice sheen to it. I'll be baking these in a half-size steam pan, also called a hotel pan. If you're doing this at home, you can use a spring form. It'll work out just as good. These are going to bake for about an hour at 325, and then we're going to turn the oven off and let them cool in the oven. While that's going on, we are going to work on our caramel. We're going to bring it to a simmer and add some gelatin. Now, you can use cornstarch, any other way to thicken it. You can even let it cook down on its own and it'll get thicker naturally, but I was afraid it'd be too sweet. So after the gelatin melts in, we'll turn it off and let it sit. We're going to finish this and let it cool while we check on our cheesecakes. We don't want either one of them to be very, very hot when we're adding them together. Now this sauce is going to explode with banana flavor. So we've added the pecans. We're gently going to drizzle it on there. That way we can gauge how much. We don't want too much. And this right here is the final product after half an hour in the fridge.